It is clear that there is a great deal of corruption going on, as evidenced by the news that the banking cartel is responsible for a crisis that is worth multiple trillions of dollars. When it comes to USDT Tether, it appears that the same thing is true, which is why the government of the United States is so eager to get rid of them. What exactly does the response imply? XRP and the RLUSD, as well as a change in the rules, additional information about the rules, and more. In light of this, there was a message received the previous evening. A fresh investigation into the USDT Tether was being conducted by the United States government. A great number of cryptocurrency projects failed as a result of the combination of this Black Swan event and the fact that the situation in the Middle East deteriorated once more last night. Despite this, there is some encouraging news. The most recent time that Bitcoin experienced a decline following a crisis in the Middle East, it dropped by 5% to a price of $60,000. A slight increase of slightly more than 3.5% was observed this time around. It is a very bullish sign that the bears are losing and that Bitcoin is about to break out into a massive rally that will set a new all-time high. The fact that it hasn't even broken $65,000 is yet another indication that the bears are losing support. Another piece of positive news is that the CEO of Tether has refuted the allegations that the United States government is investigating them. Still, I believe that it will take place in the near future. The lack of transparency that Tether exhibits, the numerous sources that I have presented in earlier videos that suggest they are engaging in activities that are illegal and questionable, and the fact that they do not adhere to the rules that are established by Mecca or even the United States will ultimately result in what happens to them. The level of trust in the most popular stablecoin is extremely low, and it is expected that money will soon begin to flow into RLUSD and other stablecoins that are issued by Ripple. Interesting information regarding the RLUSD can be found in this post written by Dr. Martin Heisberg, who is the Director of Research at Uphold. Is going to be one of the most important exchange partnerships for the early launch of this coin that will be backed by the dollar in the near future. RUSD will be superior to USDT due to the fact that it is designed to fulfill the stringent requirements of the businesses and financial institutions of today. Instead of working against large sums of money, as USDT Tether does, it works with them. In addition to this, the RUSD network is supported by a chain known as the XRP ledger, which is something that not even the USDC Circle network possesses. However, I believe that the RLUSD will become the most important currency virtually overnight. It is possible that it will occur sooner than you anticipate. Presidential Transition is a document that was published this month in October 2024 by the Meta, which is a research and development center that has been providing advice to the government for more than 60 years. The Meta currently receives funding from the federal government. It discusses the primary challenges and opportunities that the United States dollar will face as a result of the growing popularity of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. They went into greater detail about how essential it is for the government of the United States to keep up with the rapid expansion of stablecoin CBDCs and other topics during their discussion. They went so far as to suggest that stablecoin laws ought to be enacted within 90 days of the inauguration of the next administration. This would allow for the new regulations to be fully implemented by the first quarter of 2025, which is a very exciting prospect that is only 5 months away. We will make one final move, which will hopefully be a significant one, and that is much closer than you think it is. In addition to this document, this post from XRP and this video that demonstrates that the regulatory bull run is almost here are both supporting evidence. Pay close attention to this. It is time for European banks to take action at this moment. This particular confluence of forces is the very first time that it has ever occurred. When there has been a bull market in the past, banks and other financial institutions have always been at risk of regulatory uncertainty. In order for the technology and infrastructure to catch up with the concept that digital assets could be a good way to make money, it took some time. They have both reached a point in their lives where they are significantly more mature than they were in the past. It is anticipated that by the year 2024, all three conditions, market regulation, infrastructure, and are all ready to go at this point. The banks of Europe have a magnificent opportunity to make money, and the time has come for them to seize it. There are elections in 10 days, the next meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee, and rate cuts in 2 days. Just so you know, I am very British when it comes to cryptocurrency right now. A Discord server that anyone can join for free has been created by me because the cryptocurrency market is about to go crazy. In this bull market, more than 430 of us are currently working toward the goal of becoming financially independent by teaching others how to become wealthy. To become a member, please click on the link that is provided in the description below. This will also mark the beginning of the comeback story of XRP and Ripple, which will serve as a solution not only against USDT Tesla, but also against the greedy banking cartel. When the Federal Reserve increased interest rates, the bank allegedly stole $1.1 trillion from depositors, which is an absurd allegation, according to the Financial Times. By watching this video, you will be able to listen to Professor Usdt discuss it. And worse, which means that there will most likely be more. U.S. banks have received a windfall of $1.1 trillion as a result of the Federal Reserve's rate hikes, and this trend is still going strong. This is what the Financial Times says in an article about how large banks responded to the rate hikes that the Federal Reserve implemented. In a nutshell, they retained them and distributed less than a third of the money to the depositors. Because of this, you will be able to see what the banks do for us in exchange for the numerous times that they are bailed out. The Fed increased interest rates in an effort to bring the inflation that they were responsible for under control. The rates went from almost nothing to almost 5.5% over the course of 2.5 years, with no discernible change. In light of this, you would have expected banks to pay you a higher interest rate on your deposits, right? According to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation (FDIC), banks were paying less than 0.2% in March 2022, which was the same month that the Federal Reserve began raising interest rates. In the bank account that you have. Considering that they charged over 4% for mortgages, 3.5% for prime corporate borrowers, and even 8.5% for treasuries, this is a pretty funny situation. At the end of the day, governments always come out on top when they print money. In other words, banks were lending you money at interest rates of up to 4%, but they were only giving you 0.5%. Don't be concerned the Federal Reserve was planning to raise interest rates. To put it simply, 5+ points of hike. For the past 2.5 years, banks have increased their fees significantly. It is now 6.5 years that loans are due. To obtain a prime loan will set you back $8.50. Moreover, the government is required to pay 4%. Nevertheless, deposits at major banks are rewarded with 1.5. What happened to all of the money? When it comes to increasing profit margins, the Financial Times reports that more than $1 trillion were spent. Since the Federal Reserve is reducing interest rates, it is likely that Wall Street will follow suit and accomplish the same thing. Rates on deposits will decrease by as much as 1.5 percentage points. According to the Financial Times,